Wow, did you cut all this fruit, Jack? It's so pretty. I've never seen an apple cut into the shape of a star before. You seem to be much better at cooking and preparing food than Sophie. Maybe I should have tried to teach her better when she was little.
I wish I could disagree with you, but I think you might be right. Jack is a really talented cook. Look how beautiful the fruit looks.
I think you're best making a simple fried egg, sweetie. You're just a bit careless in the kitchen, so something easy is probably safest. Anyway, we should stop making fun of you. I think you've learned your lesson.
I hope you haven't been judging all of Sophie's love interests on their ability to cut fruit. If Jack wasn't the most desirable young man in the neighborhood, do you think I would have introduced him to my daughter? Of course not. I knew from the first moment I met him that he was the man for you, Sophie.
You were the exact same when we were dating, Dad. Will you be taking credit for your grandchildren if we end up having kids, seeing they're all thanks to you?
Of course I will. I'm always going to be proud that I was the person who introduced you and Jack.
Cheers to that, then. Hey, babe, I think my mom just put some coffee on next door. Would you bring it through so we can all have a cup and keep chatting? It should be a nice way to wind up the evening.
Well, before I do that, there is something that I wanted to say to you all this evening.
What's going on?
Why do you look so serious, sweetie? Are you okay? I noticed you didn't have much to eat earlier. I thought it was just because the food wasn't to your taste, but now I'm worried that you're not well. Is that it? What's up?
No, I'm sure it's not that. He was fine when we got in the car earlier. Oh, my God, babe. Why are you suddenly getting on your knees? What's going on?
Yes, what is going on, Jack? Why are you kneeling down?
Now that your mom and dad have given their permission for us to get married, there's something I think I should tell them before we go ahead with anything. Actually, I did mention it briefly when you first introduced me to Sophie, Kevin, but to be honest with you, my background and my situation at home really aren't that great. It's been a bit of a bumpy road for me. It's a bit embarrassing to admit, but my father actually had a child with another woman when he was married to my mother. He had an affair, and his mistress got pregnant. That's why he and my mom ended up getting divorced. My mom and I moved out, and we went to live with my grandparents instead, since we couldn't get a place on our own. Then, as you know, my grandparents passed away, and it was just the two of us again. When I began at middle school, my mom sent me to live with my dad and stepmom, so that she could go back to work and not have to worry about childcare. My dad and my stepmom had a son, so I have a younger brother who just graduated from college. I just wanted to tell you because after how everything happened, I don't really talk much to any of my family. We're all pretty distant. I thought that you might not know and would be shocked and disappointed if you found out, so I wanted to tell you myself now so that you didn't think I tried to keep it a secret. I know you may feel uncomfortable with my situation, since it's different to most men my age. Especially since it's clear that you've raised Sophie with so much love and support, and we have very different life experiences. I thought you could be concerned about how this would affect my relationship with your daughter. I understand if this means you need to think again about whether you want us to get married or not. Of course, I would be happy to reschedule the date for both of you to meet my parents too, if you need more time. I love Sophie more than anyone else or anything in the world, and all I want to do is marry her and give her the happiest life ever. If you don't approve, though, I will respect your wishes. I will try to prove myself, and I will wait to marry Sophie until I've earned your trust and my ability to love her as she deserves. I'm sorry I didn't mention this to you sooner. I just wasn't sure how to bring it up.
Stop kneeling on the floor and stand up, son. There's no need for all of this.
Kevin.
He's right, sweetheart. Stand yourself up. Your knees must be hurting.
Of course it's not a good thing that you had a difficult time growing up and weren't in a good situation, but there's no reason for you to be ashamed of where you came from. It was your father that made the mistakes, though, not you. You have nothing to hide. You were so young when everything happened, and you had no control over your parents or their behavior. Your father's mistakes aren't your burden, so you don't need to worry about us judging you for what he did. We want the same things out of your wedding to our daughter. I've watched you and my daughter grow in your relationship together, and you take such good care of my precious girl. What father would oppose a marriage because of something you didn't even do? That would be crazy, and I'm not a crazy man. Sophie is getting a bit older too, and I want to see her married and settled long before I pass away. I believe that a person's life is their own, and we shouldn't be made to take responsibility for our parents' mistakes. I was so pleased and happy for you both when you first came to ask me to approve of your marriage, and I'm just as happy and supportive of it now.
I agree with my husband. We can't wait to see the two of you at your wedding.
Mom? Dad?
Even if you were to have problems in the future as a result of your situation in childhood, we would be there to help. And you will always do your best to take care of our daughter, right?
Of course. I love Sophie so much, and all I want to do is make her life as easy and comfortable as possible.
That's all I needed to hear. I trust you. All I need is for you to show that you will bring the same resilience and hard work to your marriage as you do to the office, and commit to each other fully. I know I can trust you with my daughter's heart, and trust you to protect and take care of her.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you both for understanding. I promise I will do right by your daughter.
Oh, no need for all that formality now. Who are you calling sir? Please just call us Fran and Kevin. We're family.
Of course. Thank you, Fran.
There we go. That's much better. I don't know how you learned it, but you are really far more mature and trustworthy than a lot of your peers. Too many young people are so careless these days. Perhaps those traits are because you had to grow up early given your childhood. I hope that we can become second parents to you and show you the support you were lacking as a child. If you feel like anything is getting hard or you're having a difficult time with your family, just come and tell us, okay? We can listen or help you to find some professional counseling if you feel you need it.
Of course. Thank you both so much, truly. I am so grateful to you both.
Guys, what have you done? Why are you making poor Jack cry? Oh no, now I'm welling up too.
Oh my goodness, are you really crying? Oh, why would you do that? You know I start crying if I see someone else crying. My mascara is going to run.
Goodness, what are you lot like? Standing around sobbing like a bunch of fools? Surely it's a good thing that we're getting a new family member. What is there to cry about? Come on now, let's see some smiles. I had no idea you were so good at board games, Jack. Who taught you all these tricks? You seem to know exactly how to win.
My granddad taught me when I was little, while I lived with him. We used to play around together a lot. It was always really fun. I think it was good for my concentration skills too. I always found it easier to focus in class than my friends.
That seems very possible. It's been a while since I had such a worthy opponent. I'm getting quite competitive. Let's play a couple more games before we call it a night and head upstairs.
Goodness, look at your dad over there, honey. It's been ages since he had someone to play all those games with. It's great to see him so excited. Looks like they're having fun, huh?
I know, it's so good to see them getting on so well.
Gosh, Jack is such a handsome young man, too. You would never guess he'd had such a difficult childhood. He's so mature and polite.
I know. He was such a good kid by the sounds of it. He never rebelled or got into trouble, and he worked really hard at school. He even managed to get a scholarship so he could put himself through college. Really, he's such an impressive guy. I can understand why he worries about becoming like his father, but I don't think he would ever cheat. I know it made things difficult with his mom too, since she really didn't take good care of him. I think he feels a bit abandoned by her after everything that happened. If I had grown up like he did, I think I would have given up long ago. Maybe that's why he was so comfortable with Dad when they first met, cracking jokes and stuff. I guess he assumed he didn't really have a chance anyway because of where he came from.
Maybe. I don't know how I'm going to be nice when I meet his parents, knowing how they treated him when he was young. Do you know much about his stepmom? What's she like as a person?
He hasn't really said much, to be honest. To be honest, I thought I would have met her by now, but I still don't know anything about her. I guess we just have to wait to see when we meet her and start talking.
Wow, you can really tell they're a successful family if they suggested this is a good place to meet. It is so fancy. What kind of good luck does Jack have to be marrying into such a family like this? He'll be rich.
Don't be stupid. His good luck is your good luck. This is all thanks to his mom and dad doing such a good job of raising him. Just remember, you need to go out and get a good job just like your brother. Then, if you meet a nice young woman with rich parents, you snap her up, okay? Don't ask any questions.
I thought Sophie said she had a sister. I don't see anyone here that could be her, or I would have talked to her. I guess we'll only meet her at the wedding. That seems a bit weird that she wouldn't come today.
I don't know, but that is strange. Jack should have told us if she wasn't going to be here. Don't you know anything about what's going on?
Do you see me texting Jack every day to ask about the plan? That sort of thing should be up to her mom. It's not my problem. You should be keeping an eye out for Jack too, not just Mark. Jack is your son too, since you married my ex-husband.
Goodness, that's no way to be talking to me. You've got a grown-up son about to get married. You should be more mature. You had better be careful what you say today. Don't ruin things for him. You can't afford to upset his fiancée, not when she's clearly from a very wealthy family. You would have to be crazy to screw this up. Besides, until Mark gets a job, Jack is the only one supporting our family. You realize that, right? If Jack cuts you off again because you ruined things for him today, we're all in big trouble. Don't mess this up.
God, I can't believe he did that. What kind of bad kid threatens to cut ties with his own mother? Still, once he's rich and successful, I'm sure he will think about us and help us out. He needs to pull us up out of the dirt too, where it looks bad for him. Surely he realizes that. We're going to be compared to his future in-laws.
I guess kids always end up turning out like their moms, so it makes sense that he would have a bit of a temper like you. He was like this ever since he was a kid, you know.
Oh, hey Jack, there you are.
Jack, it's been too long. How are you?
Yes, it's been a while. Good to see you, ma'am.
Oh, come on now. How can you still call me ma'am when you're a grown man now? Besides, it's been 20 years since I married your dad. I think you can call me Bella at this point.
I could, but I'm used to keeping some distance between us. Sophie's parents already know about your relationship to my father anyway, so they wouldn't think it was weird.
Even so, it seems so formal. I guess if that's how you were brought up, then it's difficult to change your habits when you're an adult. Still, you have two moms here today. One of them gave birth to you, and one of them took you in her home and raised you. The mom that birthed you is also the one that you never contact, too. I remember you've even threatened to cut her off a couple times.
Please, feel free to go inside. Everyone else has already arrived and should be sitting down.
Sure thing. Mom, stop grumbling and let's just go in and meet everyone, okay? I am starving. I heard that we were coming to a fancy restaurant, and I thought I'd better not have breakfast so I could eat as much expensive food as possible.
Of course, son. We can't have you going hungry. Come on, let's go find some seats inside.
Man, this is gonna be a long afternoon.
Why are you looking at me like that? Do you have something to say to me? God, weddings are always so long and boring. I hate sitting down for so long listening to speeches. Oh, this dress is so heavy and uncomfortable, too. I can barely even walk. Man, why are you just standing there? Are you okay with watching me struggle? If you don't have anything important to say to me right now, let's just go home and we can talk about it later.
No, it's something I need to tell you now.
Well, go ahead and talk then.
This is the money that the guests have been giving me and Sophie to say congratulations, and this is the ledger I talked about before. I'm gonna take the envelopes with the cash in separately, so I only needed to record how much everyone gave us in the book.
Goodness, really? How much did you get all together?
You can find out if you just look in the book.
I'll check later. You've worked hard counting all the money and sorting it into envelopes and records like this. We owe you one. You're leaving pretty early, though. The rest of your family on your father's side are still here. Well, we'll be sure to pay this all back anyway, I promise. Shall I take the cash with me now, too, so you don't have to feel responsible for it? I can make sure it's safe for you.
She's such a liar. None of my father's relatives came to the ceremony. What is she talking about?
Wow, this envelope is very thick. You've done well for yourself.
Take this with you too, please.
What is this?
It's a bank account that I made for Mark a while ago. I made it for him to store his pocket money in a while ago. This is the card that he can use to access it and spend the money too.
Huh? What do you mean? You made him a bank account.
You always complained about the costs involved in raising me since I wasn't your biological son. I decided to save some money in here to pay you back for the food and clothes you gave me when I was a kid. Just use it when he finally moves out and becomes independent, or to help pay for his wedding.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe this. I had no idea you did all this.
He's always seemed like a pretty clueless guy, but really, he was just desperate. I hope that this helps.
How much have you managed to put in this account? How did you know I love this kind of surprise? It's always great to receive some surprise money. Thank you, son.
This is the end, though.
What? I don't understand what you mean.
I don't want to hear from you any more about needing money, or how I owe it to you for taking me in all those years ago. This is the last of it. I've spent 16 years trying to pay you back for raising and taking care of me. I think I have done enough now, and I don't think I owe you any more than this. There's no reason for you to contact me asking for money anymore.
What? Hey, get back here! If someone heard the way you were talking right now, they would think you'd given me a decent pile of cash. Imagine if they thought I was making you pay me out of your salary for taking you in as a child.
That's exactly what you've been doing. Now take this money and leave me alone. I'm done with your begging.
What? Leave you alone? Wow. Look at you now, Mr. Grown-up tough guy. You think you could treat me like this?
From now on, I'm only going to come home for holidays and birthdays. I won't make an effort to come and spend time with any of you. On holidays, I'll visit for one day only to say hello and show my face. I won't be staying over or spending too much time with you. On my father's birthday, I will come for a meal and then leave as soon as possible. I've done so much for all of you over the last few years, and I'm drawing the line. I've had enough. Once my father passes away, I will have no reason to see any of you ever again.
I can't believe this.
You had better not try contacting Sophie either. Don't bother her like you've been bothering me all these years. Don't you dare call her and ask her for anything, but especially do not ask her for money. She deserves better than being nagged by you for cash. I'm giving you a very generous offer here by giving you this cash and the money I saved for Mark. If you don't want cash, give me your bank details and I'll just transfer it to you instead.
I don't want to take anything from you if you're going to hold it over my head like this. What if you try to take it away again in the future?
I need you to listen to me very carefully and understand what I'm saying, because I'm being dead serious right now. If any of my past ends up hurting Sophie, I'm not going to stand for it. Is that clear? You're not going to try and contact her or get anything from her ever.
Look at you, building a wall to block your own family now that you're married. Are you afraid she might change her mind about you? Fine. I'm tired of fighting with you all the time. I guess I just have to accept that I'm going to live a miserable life being broke until the day I die, since you won't do anything to help me. I understand what you're saying, so you can stop glaring at me like that. I'm leaving, and I'm taking the cash.
Good, let's get out of here then.
I have to ask, though, did you lose your mind when you got married? Do you really think you can run away from your past? I'll have to mind my business for a short while since you've paid me off like this, but still, your wife is very rich, and it would be a shame if your family didn't benefit from your good luck.
Mom, I'm home. I'm sorry it's so late. I didn't mean to hold you up. Did Daisy behave herself? Is she asleep?
She was very good. She did whine for a bit when you first left. I guess she was looking for you. She fell asleep pretty quick when I gave her a pet, though, so no problems. She's such a pretty dog, and so well behaved, too. I am surprised you're back so late, since you texted me a while ago saying you were about to leave. What happened?
Oh, God, don't get me started. You remember I told you a while ago that my car was making a weird noise and the lights kept flickering? I tried to get out of the parking lot and it wouldn't even start. I barely even made it home. I think I'll really have to send it into the shop this time. I had to just leave it at the office today and get the bus home. I didn't fancy breaking down in a dark road somewhere and having to wait for a tow truck.
Hey, after 10 years, I think it's pretty normal for a car to give up. It's been great to you for so long, getting you wherever you needed to go. I'm just glad that you made it back in one piece, with or without the car. Did you eat? You must be starving. You should have a snack before you go.
Thanks, Mom. I feel so lucky that you're always there to help me with whatever I need. I have never gone hungry a day in my life thanks to you.
What's Jack up to? Is he working late too?
He is, yeah. I stuck my head into the legal department on my way out, and they still had a huge pile of papers that they said they still had to go through before they headed home. The CEO really cares about making sure everything is done perfectly first time. It means all us employees have to work extra hard to meet his standards, I guess.
I hope you're not saying that in case I'm listening, are you? Don't you think the reason our firm is so successful is thanks to me ensuring everything is done perfectly? It's been great for our reputation, you know that.
Still, at least let my husband come home every so often. I feel like we haven't been able to spend any time together as a couple in months. My daddy even knows that you already went home while he's still working away at the office.
Don't worry, soon enough you'll be able to get some rest.
What? What are you talking about, Dad?
Next month, I have to go abroad on a work trip because the company is involved in a lawsuit against a trading company. We have to start by preparing all the paperwork and documents on site, and then there are some cross-checks needed too. I'm gonna bring one employee with me as an assistant, so they can help sorting through everything. I was thinking of inviting Jack, if you think he would be interested. To be honest, all he would really have to do while we were out there is to answer a few emails and call a few people to check some information. Maybe it would be too boring for him.
Oh my goodness, really? But next month is when I get a month of leave as thanks for working at the company for 10 years, right?
Exactly. I wasn't sure if you would want to go to Hawaii or somewhere a bit further away to make the most of your time off. I was worried if a month would be enough, actually, since you work so hard. Of course, you're still young, so it could be difficult to go overseas on your own for so long. It is expensive to go abroad. I know a holiday is a holiday even if you end up just visiting some other states or something. But I thought this could be a great opportunity for you to go abroad and try something completely new. So, next month, I'm sending you and Jack to Paris for a month to really relax and recharge. I hope you have the most amazing time. I've already bought the tickets, so no need to worry about that.
Wow! Dad, are you serious? You have to be joking. This is totally insane. Paris? I've never been to Europe before. Oh, I bet the weather will be amazing too.
Of course, you and Jack have both worked so hard for the company, and I have you two to thank for a lot of our success. You have earned this. The least I could do to say thank you is send you on a proper holiday. I'm sure it'll help with your efficiency at work too if you get a proper rest.
This is so amazing. Honestly, wow. I should start looking up places to stay tomorrow. I can't believe I'm going to France. Does Jack know about this? Did you already tell him?
If I had told him, I expect I would have told him to keep it a secret from you, don't you think?
Oh, Dad, that's so sneaky. Love you, Dad, truly.
Oh, I see how it is. You only love me when I send you off on a holiday, huh? There was one more thing, if you want me to tell you, you know?
What? What else is there?
I know your car has been giving you some troubles lately. I bought you that car years ago to congratulate you on getting your first job. Do you remember? I figured I should give you something else to mark 16 years at our firm, so I had to think. I was gonna buy you a new car, but they take a few weeks to be delivered, and I didn't want you to get stuck somewhere in your old car. So, I'm gonna be giving you the lease car that I've been using for a while. There's only a few months left on that lease, so you can drive it around for a month or so, and then I can sign it over to you.
Huh? Dad, I don't need your car. That's too much. How will you get around? I can just find a second-hand car somewhere to help me drive to work and back. It's not an urgent problem.
I wanted to do this for you, though. I want to make your life easier and give you something nice, since I'm able to. How many people are in a position to do something like this? I've been very lucky, and I want to share that luck with you. It's like passing things on. Besides, it's not like it's a brand new car.
Oh, he's just making excuses. He's been wanting to buy himself a new car for a while now. I was wondering why you kept bringing all those car catalogs in. I guess you were doing some research.
Oh, I see. So you're going to give me your car and buy something new for yourself? Okay, that makes more sense than you not having a car. I guess I should just say thank you and be grateful.
You realize that you get her old car if she takes mine, right? Would you prefer I listened to you and didn't give it to her, so you wouldn't get her old car?
Wait, you're going to pass her car on to me? So if she gets your car, I'll get a car of my own? That's awesome! Still, I don't want you to make yourself amazing dad so I become a mean mom. That's not fair.
I know, sweetie, that's not going to happen. So, what do you think, Sophie?
I think I'm so lucky. Honestly, I have the best family in the world. Thank you both so much. Not just for paying for me and Jack to go to Paris or giving me a new car when mine broke down. I have always felt so loved and supported by both of you, and that's really the most important thing. I promise I'm going to pay you back for everything you've done for me one day.
Wow, look at my grown-up daughter running over to give me a hug. Oh, wow, Sophie, my back hurts. Calm down.
Okay, I've checked the file and everything looks good. I mean, if they said everything was okay over email, then I'm sure it's fine. I don't know what we're going to do if they suddenly ask us to change something now, though. Anyway, we're going to have to speed things up a bit if we want to follow the schedule and meet all our deadlines. I have to get back to the office now. I'm meant to be in a meeting in a few minutes. Apparently, one of our new starters is freaking out about something, so I said I would go and try and help her. I'll try to sneak out again soon so we can talk properly.
Sophie, that's you, isn't it?
Hi there, Bella.
Fancy seeing you here. Were you working? I'm sorry if I'm interrupting.
I was, yes. I had to step outside to make a phone call, but I'm heading back inside now.
Oh, really? I was here for a meeting too and then spotted you on my way back to my car. I figured it would be rude if I didn't stop and say hello.
What a coincidence. Anyway, something urgent has come up, so I really need to get back to my desk.
By the way, did you get a new car? I don't remember seeing this one before. It looks very shiny and nice.
I did, yes. I changed it a little while ago. My old car kept having problems.
Oh, really? This is a very expensive model, though. You must have been saving up for a while.
Man, this again? I really need to get back to work. It sounds like things are starting to kick off. I'm sorry, what did you say? I was thinking about something else.
Oh, it was nothing. I just said it's a very pretty car. You made a good choice. I must say, though, I'm surprised you could afford such a nice car on your salary. I can't imagine you earn that much since you're still young.
Oh, I'm getting another phone call from my colleague. It must be really urgent. I'm so sorry. I really have to get back inside and see what's going on. It's Jack's dad's birthday next month, is that right? We're going on vacation for a month next week, so I guess we won't be able to make it. We'll have to come around and celebrate once we're back. See you later!
What was all that about? She wasn't listening to a word I was saying, just running around acting all flustered. Hang on a minute, they're going away for a month? Wow, I guess if your parents are that rich, you can go on vacation whenever you want for however long you want. Imagine a whole month on vacation. Oh, God, you really drive me crazy. What did you expect me to do if you just borrowed that money and disappeared? Were you just gonna leave me here? You're gonna drive me to an early grave, I swear. You're so unpredictable.
Mom, please stop hitting me. Just leave me alone. Anyway, it was only the money that had been in my bank account. So why does it matter if I took it? The money was mine anyway. I thought he said he gave it to me to spend on something later. Wasn't that the whole point?
Oh, you idiot. Why would you just trust your friend and invest it all in some business he said he had? What were you thinking?
What was I supposed to do with it then? I haven't been able to get a job on my own, so I thought it was worth the risk. I figured I could earn some money by investing in his business since I go bust every time I try something on my own. Besides, it might end up doing really well and becoming a huge success, and then we'll get all the money back 100 times. Stop telling me it was a waste until you've seen the results.
How do you even know if you can trust this person? Did they tell you what their business idea was, or did you just give them the money without asking any questions?
Mom, you don't know anything about business. There's no point in me trying to explain any of this to you. Business is for men. You don't need to worry about anything.
How am I supposed to stay calm and not worry when you just spent all our money? Your brother gave you that bank account full of money on the condition that we didn't ask him for any more loans or bits of pocket money. Now what will we do? Your father doesn't even know we had the money in the first place. I never said a word to him about it. If you lose all that money, we're not even going to be able to afford food. Do you understand how serious this is?
Mom, quit talking like we've already failed. We haven't lost the money, I just invested it. Everything is gonna be fine. Anyway, it's not like Jack is the most amazing guy in the world either. Why would he act like he's embarrassed of us? How can he feel okay when he's avoiding us like this? We only ever see his face for a few hours over the holidays.
He's embarrassed because your mother and father are terrible with money and have a lot of bad spending habits. I've been extremely generous to give you everything I did while you were grown up. You should count yourself lucky.
Well then, is Jack really just gonna abandon us? Was this money really the last thing he was gonna do for us?
Don't be so stupid. Have you seen what kind of a family your brother has married into? He's extremely wealthy now. His father-in-law is the CEO and partner at a very successful law firm. They make him more money than they can spend. I wonder what his salary must be now that he's working for such a big company, especially being married to the CEO's daughter. I guess once you reach that level, taking a month off to go on vacation is easy. I wonder how much money you would get if you asked him to give you just a tiny fraction of his income. Well, there's no use thinking about that now. He told us not to ask him for any more money, so I guess I'll have to figure out our budget by myself. Wait a second. Even just that car that I saw her driving today must be worth a fair bit.
What is it, Mom? What are you thinking about?
Okay, Mark, I might need your help with something. You know where your brother lives, right? You've been there before?
Yeah, I visited them once or twice, so I know where his place is. Why do you ask? What's up?
I just need you to tell me the address, okay?
There they are. Welcome back to the United States, guys.
Hi there, Kevin. It's very kind of you to come and meet us. You really didn't have to come all this way. We could have found a taxi that would take us home, I'm sure.
I'm sure you could have, but I hadn't seen you or my precious daughter in a whole month. I wanted to be able to see you both as soon as possible and make sure you looked properly rested. Sophie, honey, come on over. Give your old man a hug.
Oh, Dad, you're just the best. Look at you greeting us at the airport and everything. This is 5-star service.
She's right. You're really too kind. At least let me drive back so you can chat to Sophie.
No, I don't want to hear another word about it. You must be tired from such a long flight, I'm sure. How could I come all this way to meet my daughter and her husband, and then tell him that he has to drive us home? What kind of a man do you think I am?
Well, it's very kind of you to pick us up.
Man, obviously I am so sad to be back from such an amazing vacation and incredible weather. I have to say, though, I'm really looking forward to being back home after being away for a whole month. Don't you agree, babe?
Definitely. Besides, we still have about 5 days until we have to go back to the office, so we'll be able to get over the jet lag. We'd better make sure that we're sleeping and waking up at the right time, so we're ready to get back to work. You were so tired and burnt out before our trip. I remember you saying that you've been working flat out since you first joined the company 10 years ago.
Yeah, I really needed this break. Still, now that you're at the company, I get to see you at lunch and we can eat together. That's made it much easier. We should try and go out for dinner more often, just the two of us. Eat some nice food somewhere other than the break room.
Do you think so? Maybe just one more date.
Oh, okay then. One more date and then we can call it quits.
Oh, hurry up, guys. I think the traffic light's about to change. Let's run and catch it.
Okay, come on, babe. Let's go. Am I going crazy? Why won't this work? I've tried to enter the PIN for the door so many times, but it won't open. I know it's definitely the right number, too.
Huh? That is really weird. Wait a second. Don't you think the keypad looks much cleaner than it did before when we went away? You didn't wash it before we left, did you?
You're right. No, I didn't clean it, but it sure looks shiny. I don't see a single fingerprint on it, actually.
This doesn't seem right. How weird that it looks different. Do you think someone could have swapped out the old keypad for a new one? Maybe that's why it looks different and the code isn't working.
I'll go to the security office and ask if they saw anything. I can ask if they recorded anyone that visited our house while we were away.
I'm coming with you, honey. We should only be a second, Kevin. We'll be right back.
No problem. Don't start panicking, Sophie. Let's just check things out and see what's going on. What? Your brother-in-law came over and changed the keypad while you were away? Why would he replace it?
I have no idea, but there's no record of anyone else visiting our place apart from him, so that's the only explanation. We had a look at the security camera from the day he came by, and you can see him and one of the people from the keypad company on the footage.
Huh, what on earth was he doing here? You guys were away. What could he have needed? Do you have any idea what he came to do?
I think it might have been because of me, actually.
You think it's because of you? What makes you say that?
Oh, one day at work before we went away, I had to step outside and make a phone call. I ran back in after a couple minutes because something urgent came up and I had to help. I ran into Bella, though, before I went back inside and we chatted for a minute. I mentioned to her that we were going away for a month. She was asking about something, but I got so flustered it just slipped out and I ran off back inside. Man, I would never have brought that up under normal circumstances. What was I thinking? Why wasn't I more careful?
Baby, you know you can't blame yourself. None of this is your fault. If it was any other normal person, that's the sort of thing that would have just been said, and then you would have just moved on with the conversation. I guess she made plans to swap out the keypads after you mentioned that we were going away, but you did nothing wrong. The problem here is that she thought it was okay to rip off someone's door system and put a new one in its place, like some kind of criminal. Let's just head inside now that the staff have opened the door for us. We can check if anything is missing.
You're right. God, what if they really did take something? Do you think that could be why they changed the keypad? So they could sneak in and steal our stuff? Please, I don't want to believe that could be true. It can't be that bad, surely. Maybe they needed to check something else.
I wish I could tell you they would never do something like this. Come on, let's just go inside and check everything instead of standing out here worrying about what happened.
I know, you're right. Okay, I've gone around and checked everywhere and the safe is totally fine. It doesn't look like there's anything missing from the dressing room or my jewelry locker either, so that's good. There's only one thing that's gone.
What is it?
The key to my car. I can't find the car key for the car that my dad gave me before we went away. I definitely left it in this bowl next to the front door, but it isn't here now.
What? Did my stepmom know that you had swapped your car for a new one?
She did. God, the more I think about it, the more I think I must have lost my mind when I spoke to her in the multi-story that day. She saw my new car and asked me if I had just recently gotten a new model.
Oh, I see. I guess she was aiming to take the car all along, if the car keys are the only thing that's missing.
This is the first time anything like this has ever happened to me in all my years. Are you saying that she must have told her son to swap out the keypad so that he could break in and take the car keys? I would have never expected that someone could do something like that. It just seems totally unbelievable.
Babe, have they tried to contact you at all while we were away, or since we got back?
Don't be silly. I told her at our wedding years ago that she was never to contact me ever again, and she hasn't. Even if she did try to call me, I would just ignore it.
I really just can't believe this. I mean, I saw the new keypad with my own eyes, and I went through the house to check what was gone, and I still can't believe it. I always knew thieves were a real problem, but I guess I never thought your own stepmom would be one to steal from us. I don't even know what to say.
Baby, I'm just gonna borrow your dad for a bit, if that's okay. I think we need to go over to their place and ask her what the hell she was thinking. Coming in here and stealing your car?
I'll come with you guys. This is beyond anything I could ever have dreamed happening. It's just insane. I want to ask her why she did it and why she thought it was okay to steal from her own family. I need to see her in person and try figure out what was going through her head when she broke in here.
In that case, why don't you take Sophie over there yourself, Jack, and you can talk to your stepmom. Make sure to call me as soon as you know what's going on, okay? And Jack, you remember what I said to you when we first met, don't you? There's no need for you to feel guilty for what your family has done. You didn't tell her to do this, and it's not your responsibility to fix it, okay? Just know that you're a good man, and take care of yourself and my daughter, okay? Don't let her try and make you feel bad or guilty for your success after being treated so badly by your own family when you were little.
Yes, sir. I'll call you as soon as we get back.
What are you two doing here? You should have called and told us that you were on your way over.
Why did you come to our house while we were away?
I have no idea what you're talking about. You're the one who turned up here abruptly.
Don't you dare try and lie your way out of this. We've already put everything together. There is security camera footage of you and the keypad repair staff in the elevator together heading up to our place. And not even 2 weeks before that, you had a conversation with Sophie about our trip. You must have made a note of when she said we were going away and timed it so we wouldn't catch you in the act.
I'm sorry. Are you talking to me right now? What's going on?
Who else do you think I would be talking to? Is there another criminal here that I didn't notice?
I told you I had nothing to do with whatever you're talking about, so there's nothing here for you to find. I may not have given birth to you, but I sure raised you as if I was your mother. How dare you speak to me like this?
I am serious. Stop trying to find a way out of this. I'm not gonna let it go. And we all know what you did.
Just give it back to us, please.
I don't know what you're talking about. Give what back?
We know you took my car keys. I'm asking you to hand them over right now.
Are you trying to threaten me right now? Are you crazy? You need to get a hold of yourself. Do you really think your father would let you behave like this if he knew what you were doing right now?
I am sure he would. Shall we call him now and find out? The fact that you didn't tell your poor son what he was getting involved in either? I guess you just told him the keypad needed changing, and he trusted you. And then you came in, took the keys from next to the front door, and drove yourself away in my car. Say something! Explain yourself! What kind of reaction did you think you were going to get?
Jack's father already knew all about it.
What? What did you just say?
It just so happened that our car was getting old too, and we needed to switch it out for a new one that wouldn't keep breaking down. As you know, though, it's impossible to buy a car unless you're doing pretty well for yourself. We just couldn't afford it. I noticed that you had changed your car when we met that day in the parking lot. I thought it looked like a really nice, reliable car. I figured it would be great if we would drive it, so I took it. It's Jack's dad's birthday next month, which we spoke about at the time. Don't you think it would be easier for everyone if we just thought of it as you and Jack buying him an expensive birthday present? The two of you are earning plenty of money on your own. Don't you think you would feel good knowing you had given a car to someone who really needed it? Surely you got more than enough money to buy yourselves another car.
Is that seriously the best excuse you could come up with? Don't you feel ashamed to even say it out loud?
Besides, isn't the idea of a birthday gift to choose something for the person yourself? You're trying to force us to give something incredibly extravagant. What kind of a person gives a car as a gift?
You do the math then. When have you ever given a gift to anyone on our side of the family? And taking us out for food doesn't count. How long have the two of you been married now? And never once tried to do something nice for us. A meal out every so often just isn't good enough. Do you have any idea what a tough time your father is going through right now? He's really struggling. It's your duty as his son to take care of him. I'm the one who gave you everything you needed to shine like you do now. I started to resent you for never showing your face after you got married, you know. I was the only one who was on your side and tried to stick up for you. I always thought there must be a reason for you to be ignoring us. I kept saying Jack would never treat his own family like this for no good reason. There must be something going on.
So what, do I have to thank you for not kicking me out onto the street as a kid then? Is Dad home? Call him down, we should talk about this with him too. You're right, maybe I do have something to say to you all.
Where is your dad? Oh, he took some medicine. I think he's asleep right now. Let's just let him sleep. He's been so tired recently. There's no need to wake him up unnecessarily. I'm sure he will be very grateful for the gift when I tell him it's from you.
Are you kidding? We never thought about giving him a car as a gift. You came around and stole it. Give me back the car key right now.
God, you're such a selfish woman. How can you come over here and demand that we return it when you've seen the state of our car? Can't you just give us the car like the loving children you are? You should care more about your elders. Do you really resent your father so much that you can't stand to see him driving around in a car that works?
I'm sorry, what? How is that an excuse? Are you saying that we owe you the car? So it was totally okay for you to sneak into your own children's house and steal their car keys? You are a thief. Why are you pretending like Sophie's car belongs to you?
I didn't steal it. I just chose it as a birthday present to your father.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. That is insane logic. You can't choose to give someone something that belongs to someone else. Okay then, by your logic, for my birthday next year, I want you to give me your house. Does that seem fair to you? Are you going to start packing up and moving out now?
Why would I give this house to you as a present?
That's exactly my point. I'm just using your logic to make another example, and you see that it's stupid. Why should I give you my car?
Well, haven't you seen my car? I can't possibly drive around in that. I may not be the woman who gave birth to your husband, but you're being unreasonable. I don't want everyone to think it's okay to treat me like this just because I'm his stepmom. If I was his mom, would you be able to watch me drive around in my old car without wanting to do something about it? This is why it's so tough to raise someone else's children. You don't get the same respect. No matter how polite and respectful you are, your work isn't appreciated and you're not seen as a real parent. Who do you think made you into the man you are today? Who kept you alive when you were too young to take care of yourself and saw you all the way to your wedding? The person who gave you life is your father too. You owe him everything. I was the one who took you in when you had nowhere else to go. Why is it too much to ask for something in return for our sacrifices? Do you think you're the only person who got you where you are today? Be realistic, Jack. Do you think you would be working at a law firm now if it wasn't for me? I always did my best to take care of you, making you hot meals, putting you to bed every night. Why are you screaming at me now like an ungrateful child just because I took one car?
That's why I paid you back, remember? At my wedding, I gave you an envelope full of money and a debit card for Mark, and I told you to not ask for anything else from that moment on. I even gave you all the congratulatory gifts from our friends. I gave you all the money that I've been saving for years. Parents take it for granted that their kids should love them, but they sure don't make it easy to. My dad was part of me being born, and thanks to him, I'm married and happy. But if you think a parent is only the person that gave birth to you, then I owe him nothing. And what if your parent was a bad person? What if they broke up your family and sent you off to live with other people? Do you still have to respect them then? I don't care if you kept me alive when I was young. You certainly didn't raise me with any love in my life. You always made it so obvious that you thought I was just a burden. It was never you who raised me, it was my grandparents. They took me in and loved me and never complained once. You can't say that you raised someone just because you didn't kick a child out onto the street. I know you were embarrassed. I know you were ashamed. Do you think I wouldn't remember anything because I was young? I remember it all. I remember why my grandparents had to raise me. You know why they did too. You're just ashamed to admit it.
What are you talking about? I didn't do anything wrong.
You hit and abused me. Admit it. I can't imagine what was going through your mind when I imagined doing that to a little boy.
You remember that?
Even if you don't remember the person who hit you, the experience sticks with you forever. It's stored in my head all these years, next to the horrible things you used to say to me. What do you think I would have done if I met you again back in middle school? I was so worried about what you were going to do. I wanted to run away from home and find a new family. Some days I thought some truly dark things because I felt like no one really cared about me anyway, so I must be worthless. I won't hide your secrets anymore. The last thing I want is one day to turn into a parent like you. I want to treat people like they're human beings who are worthy of love, not become a monster like you. As I've grown up, I realize day by day that all of you are even worse than I thought. And now that I have a happy life with my wife who I love, you come around and steal from me?
How can you say that? You need to shut up right now.
I won't be quiet a moment longer. I told you years ago that if you ever came near me or Sophie or asked for money from her, I wasn't going to just move on and let it go. I was being serious.
And what if I won't leave you alone? What will you do then? Are you going to assault the little old lady that raised you?
Why would you assume I would behave like you in this situation? Still, I've learned my lesson about how to punish people properly. Let's settle this legally. I was stupid to think that you would just give us the car back if I came over and asked for it. I should have known better. You'll be receiving a court summons too, once I file the paperwork, so get ready to show your face to a judge.
Fine. Let's go by the law. What, did you think I would be scared?
Wow, I have met plenty of scammers and salespeople in my life, but she is really something else. I have never known someone to be so bold and obvious about all the wrong things they've done. What must be going on in her head that lets her rationalize this behavior? Stealing from your own family and saying we were being selfish? I can't believe she wouldn't even try to come up with some sort of excuse. She literally committed a crime.
I'm really sorry about this, honey. I should have just cut her off once we got married. Then we might not be in this mess. I was dragging my feet because they're still my family. But now you're suffering because of them. It's not fair to you.
Oh, don't even say something like that. This isn't your fault either. She has never been good to you, and this is just proof of what a terrible person she is. You've been abused and bullied by that woman ever since you were just a kid, and that is on her. Don't blame yourself for her actions. Even if you feel okay now and your life is where you want it to be, the wounds from your past need time to heal. You're still feeling the effects of what happened to you when you were young, and that's to be expected. Of course you're finding it difficult to cut off your entire family, even after what they've done to you. How many people do you think have the strength to survive what you've been through and still make a name for themselves? You can't blame yourself for this. She's an adult woman who knew what she was doing, and now she has to pay the price. That woman is 100%, no, 1000% the villain here, not you.
If we just had a set of spare keys, we could have just got the car back already.
Don't worry about that. There's no need to think about what could have happened. I have a plan.
Huh? What do you mean, Dad?
That car is still on lease, remember? If the company asks us whose name should be on the lease, we can change it. All we need to do is call them and ask them to change the car to be under her name instead of mine. Sure, she can take the big fancy car if she wants, but this way she'll also get a big fancy bill at the end of each month that she now has to pay. And as we all know, she definitely can't afford that.
Hey, that's a good idea.
As well as doing that, we can file a legal complaint against her too. Since she changed the keypads to get into your home, you can report the damage she caused during the home invasion. She would have to pay for that too. Let's report her first thing tomorrow, and then file the paperwork to the lease company.
That sounds like a great plan, sir.
If you would feel comfortable, I would also be interested in seeing what we can do to report her for child abuse too, only if you feel okay with it, of course. We can figure out what we want to do about that later. There's no need for you to decide whether to press charges right now. First things first, let's figure out what we can get her proven guilty of and report that. She'll pay for having hurt my son-in-law, just you wait and see. I guess she must have forgotten that now you have the CEO of a successful law firm on your side as a member of your family. I'm gonna make it impossible for her to hide this and move on with her life. She needs to learn her lesson for what she did. What a stupid woman. Now is your chance to show her the man you've become. Good afternoon. Am I speaking to Bella Smith?
You are? Who are you and what do you want?
Yes, of course. I'm the manager of the leasing company where you got your car. I'm just calling regarding the BMW 7 Series that you currently have on lease for us. I know you've been in touch about a couple of things. I understand that you want to change the name on the paperwork, so I'm just calling to help you with that. As you know, we originally signed the lease with Kevin as the customer contact name and payee. Now that you've confirmed that you'll be taking over the lease and its payments, I thought I should give you a call. There are a few documents and pieces of information that I'm going to need from you to get everything processed, if that's okay.
What do you mean the car is on a lease? Hang on a second. So the car is a lease and it's under Kevin's name? It doesn't belong to his daughter? I don't understand.
Yes, that's correct. Since it's a new model, the costs are a little higher than some of our budget cars. The base fee for the car alone is $2,000 a month, excluding our company fees.
What did you just say? $2,000 a month?
Yes, that's right. Is it okay if I keep going with the rest of the information with you?
No, stop. I don't want to lease the car. I can't. Oh my goodness, I had no idea what an expensive car it was when I took it. I can't afford that. I had no idea how much it cost.
I'm sorry?
I don't want the car. Take it back to the original person. I don't want anything to do with it. How could I pay that much for a car when I can't even afford to put food on the table? Are you crazy?
Okay, so I understand you don't want to go ahead with taking over the lease. If you've changed your mind, I will need to contact the original lease owner and let them know.
I can hear you being so rude about a customer. Where are you from? I'm going to report you to your manager. How dare you gossip about a customer? Have some respect. Hey, did you just hang up on me?
Hey Mom, what kind of mail is this? It's in a big, thick envelope. It must be serious.
Huh? I have no idea. Let's open it and see. What? It's a request to appear in court? What the hell? Are you kidding me? They're saying there's going to be an investigation into alleged breaking and entering and property damage. Is this kid really going to sue me after everything I've done for him?
What do you mean, Mom? Who's suing us? Is Jack filing a lawsuit?
I can't believe he would dare do this. Come on, hand me my phone. It's on the table over there. I'm going to speak to him about this.
I don't understand what's going on, Mom.
Just hurry up and pass me the phone, come on!
Okay, Mom, no need to yell. What is going on right now, man?
How dare you? Are you really gonna sue me? That's how you want to deal with this situation?
I asked my father-in-law to file the paperwork a few weeks back. I guess it just arrived at your door. I did say we should settle this legally when we last spoke in person.
Why, you little ungrateful brat. Do you really want to sue me out of house and home? You know I can't afford this. If I go to jail, who will look after your dad? He needs someone to cook and clean for him. You can't leave him on his own.
It's nothing to do with how he manages to eat. I couldn't care if he was starving after what you've done to me. You can't use him as leverage over me anymore. It won't work. I am completely out of any compassion for you. I realize now that your bad situation is entirely your own fault. No matter what happens to him, I'm not going to let fear stand in my way anymore. He could get in an accident tomorrow, and I wouldn't even blink.
God, you little brat.
Maybe you think I'm acting like a brat. I think I finally just realized how much you were trying to ruin my life for all those years. Taking all my success for yourself in exchange for abusing me as a child.
Do you think you're some kind of hotshot lawyer now, just because you work in a law firm? You aren't even qualified. I'm gonna make sure you know the kind of huge mistake you're making right now. Do you even think I'm going to be punished for half the stuff you're accusing me of? It's all from years ago, and you know none of your own family reported it at the time, or now. You're on your own. How do you know your injuries were never self-inflicted? Kids hurt themselves, you know, falling over or climbing up trees. Besides, I'm only your stepmom, not your biological mother. You think these are gonna stick when I'm just your dad's wife?
You seem to know roughly what's going on here, but I get the impression you don't fully understand.
Huh? What are you talking about? Just get to the point if you have one.
Our accusation of property damage isn't related to the other charges. You know that, right?
What? Really?
Oh, so now you're scared of the guy who worked at a law firm? I thought I didn't know anything. I know it could be difficult to get the child abuse charge to stick. That's why we have concrete evidence of home invasion, with videos and testimonies, so you'll be charged with breaking and entering. In order to establish that you were definitely invading the home and that you weren't invited, there has to be proof that you were there without consent and with ill intentions. We can do this very easily since we have a keypad installed to control who can access the place. You removed this and swapped it out for a new keypad of your own. You try to lock us out of our own place. This hadn't been permitted by a landlord or the property owner, meaning you did not have authorization to change the access code. Legally, this counts as deliberate home invasion, especially since we have so much evidence. It doesn't matter what our relationship is, you won't get away with this.
Why, you... I can't believe you would do this to me. How dare you sue your own family? Do you expect me to ever pay all this back? The fees will be too much, not to mention the compensation I'll have to pay you.
Actually, I'm paying you back. Just wait and see. It will all make sense eventually. I need to make sure that you can never do what you did to me to anyone else ever again. Family doesn't treat family like this.
Well, what do you expect me to do? I already gave the car back to Sophie. That's all I took. I have nothing else to give you. You got your stuff back and no one was hurt. Do we really have to go this far? Please, take pity on your poor stepmom. Won't you give me one more chance to prove myself to you?
I've endured enough of your cruelty and given you so many chances already. I warned you to not come near me or my wife. You're already shaking. This is only just the beginning. There is a big storm coming your way. Well then, let's just keep following the procedure to get all of this legal stuff over with. I'm sure we won't ever meet again once this is done.
How dare you do this to me? Jack, listen to me. After that, Jack's stepmom was found guilty of everything we had accused her of and received her sentence in court. When Jack was giving his testimony, I realized again what a good man he is.
He was well-spoken and clear, but very fair, and even asked Bella to forgive him. Obviously, she wasn't able to contact my husband and I, especially during the trial. I heard that she tried to reach out to Jack's acquaintances and get them to beg him to go easy on her. Her defense was really bad. She didn't have any evidence as to her good character, so I guess it was pretty inevitable that she would be found guilty and charged. Jack's dad was really angry about the whole thing and called us, yelling about how Jack was an only child when his stepmom was treating him so badly, and that he should have forgiven her and moved on by now. Even though that was his own child that had been suffering silently for so long, I was truly shocked to see him being so nonchalant about his son being abused by his wife for so many years. How could a father let his child be treated like that? It just seemed so unbelievable, but there we were. Jack and I have moved into a new place since cutting ties with his family. I think we both needed a fresh start and to move out of the place his stepmom had broken into. Since all this happened, we have no idea how his family have been doing. That's deliberate, of course, and we never even look them up on social media to find out what's going on with them. I often think about how my husband was bullied from such a young age and then gaslit by his own family into thinking that his pain and suffering was all his own fault. I hope that one day their karma comes back to bite them and punish them for what they did to a little boy. I expect that some of you may feel frustrated with my husband as you listen to his story. Perhaps you thought he was mean or cruel for cutting off his own family, but I ask that you don't judge him too harshly. There's a saying that how you let your family treat you is a reflection of your self-esteem. I think that must be true, and I'm glad my husband found the confidence to put some space between himself and his family. I hope you've enjoyed listening to my story, but I will end it here. Thank you for your patience, and I wish you all the best. Be sure to like and subscribe.